How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI. You guys know these are one of my high conviction plays. We ended up getting our bank charter. It was announced in the after hours yesterday. I was working on some other videos. I really wanted to get a video out, but I put out a ton of them and I didn't have the time to get it done, but I made sure that I'm going to put this video out today because I know what you're saying. Yes, we ended up having a strong run. It was up a good amount. What's going to be happening as far as for the rest of this week as well as next week, months from now? We'll talk about that in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $13.71, being up 13.68%. On the low, it tested $13.37, and then on the high, testing $14.39. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 181.366 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 48.842 million shares. So when we get this type of volume coming through SOFI stock, you're going to see price action like this. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 43.81. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And one thing you can clearly see that SOFI is in a bear market. So the quick pop that we ended up seeing on the day was due to the fact of getting that bank charter. But we saw some resistance on the day right here around $14.39. And one thing you want to keep in mind, these were areas of resistance not too long ago, back on January the 12th. So one thing that I want to make sure you're aware of, if we're able to pass this $14.39 level, you want to see if SOFI can gain some momentum when getting to $15. I can see there being a lot of selling pressure here, but again, if the momentum comes through the stock, we should be able to get past 15, and then we'll have the next area of resistance right here around 16 bucks. And for SOFI to really start turning things around, it's going to have price action above the 200-day moving average, which is at $17.30. Now, one of the things that we need to pay attention to is the gap to the downside. Since we did end up getting that news in after hours yesterday, you can see here we have a gap that needs to be filled right here at $13.12. So there's a strong possibility this stock will pull back sometime this week. So I just want to make sure that is something that you are aware of. So let's see how it performs going into tomorrow, and let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So for the recent filings, we have Goldman Sachs Global Managed Beta Fund institutional shares that purchased 2,816, and that is what we have for January the 19th filing. And then when we go down to take a look at the 18th, we have Pegasus Asset Management Inc. that purchased 103,641 shares. We also have Newman, Dignan, and Shearer that purchased 10,148 shares. We also have a closed position from Clear Street Markets LLC, which was a call, which was fully closed. And then we also have Low Wealth Advisors LLC that purchased 100 shares. We also have Wolf Wise Magna LLC that purchased 30,877 shares. And also for the 18th, the last one's IFM Investors Pty Limited that purchased 59,243 shares. So one thing that is very clear, institutions are loading up on SOFI. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 43.24%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is at 10.48 million shares, just over that. And then when we take a look now at the short shares availability, is it at 10 million, updated 2 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is around 0.45%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 14th, it was at 40.81. And then for the close of the 18th, which was yesterday, it is at 43.24. So what this tells us right away, SOFI does have short squeeze potential. So this is why if you have a catalyst or you have extreme buying volume coming into the stock like we got from the news, you can see some moves to the upside. So now let's go into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflow, it was at 447, and then on the outflow, it was at 480. So it was an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 10.85. On the medium, it was 296. And then on the small, it was 140. Taking a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 4.57. On the medium, it was 330, and then on the small, it was 145. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for January the 19th, that big green candle right there at 6,284.84. And for the past 5 trading days, you could see we had 4 inflow days for the large scale orders. I feel someone knew something before the news was actually announced. That's just my personal opinion. And when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, you could see that we had more selling than we had buying, but it was still fairly close. And then when we take a look at the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. But when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we have 10.85 million versus 4.57 million. That tells us right away this had an impact on the way the stock was able to perform today. And then now when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was right at 22.58%. No surprises there because a lot of traders jumped into the play. Like I said, they released the news and after hours yesterday. So going into today, we knew that we would have above average volume due to the fact of the catalyst and SOFI getting that bank charter. Many were looking forward to hearing this news. So now let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI in regards to the price action, yes, we ended up seeing the $14 area. Many were wanting to see $15 or $16, but you have to take into consideration the market conditions. And when we take a look at the technicals, it does have a gap that it needs to fill to the downside, which is around $13.12. So we could have a possibility of seeing that sometime this week. But I don't want you to get frustrated, especially if you are a long-term investor. Just because the stock has been on a downtrend, one thing we do know, the company is doing well. They are going in the right direction. So I see that as an opportunity to add to your position. So let the stock go down to 13, 12. Let it go back to 12. Let it go to 11. Let it even go down to 10. I'm going to load up the boat. This is how you have to approach the stock market when it comes to plays that you have high conviction in. And that's why I say if you don't have high conviction, you shouldn't be investing in the play whatsoever. Also, upon this bank charter announcement, we got a price target upgrade of $30. So what that tells us, that's more than 100% upside for SOFI stock. So if you are thinking about adding to your position or actually starting a position, do your homework, do your due diligence, and see if this play will be right for you. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see that institutions have been loading up on shares. And then taking a look at the short interest, it does have short squeeze potential. So this is part of the reasons why we see a lot of volatility in the stock. We also do know that they are not a profitable company as of yet, but they are growing revenues very quickly and they are growing their user base. Again, if you are investing in SoFi like myself, you are betting on the future. You're looking for this company to move forward in the right direction until they can start giving back value to shareholders. And them getting that bank charter, that is something that I'm very proud of. We also have to take into consideration they do have earnings that's going to be coming up, and I wouldn't be surprised if they still do not turn a profit. And because of this, we know what the market reaction is going to be, and this is why I say we could experience pullbacks, and this is where I'm going to be utilizing those opportunities. For 2022, we have to take into consideration interest rates. Yes, SoFi is now officially a bank. They could actually take advantage of high interest rates through their business model, but we also have to understand the fact profits are very important because we have to take into consideration valuation. Stocks that are considered as overvalued are being corrected. That's exactly what we're going through right now. And I just want to make sure that you have the stomach to be able to deal with that volatility and say, well, you know what? Yeah, let SoFi pull back. I'll just add even more shares because I like the future of this company. If that is how you feel, then this is a stock you want to keep on your radar, especially during these pullbacks that we have in the market. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.